The call came on a Thursday afternoon, right between a lukewarm cup of coffee and an inbox full of unread messages. My phone buzzed once, then again, then a third time, insistent enough that I finally slid it across the desk and answered. A woman's voice broke through the line, sharp and frantic. "Ma'am, this is Brookside Elementary. Your daughter has been left here for 2 hours." I blinked, slowly, stupidly. You what?" "Your daughter," she repeated as if I were the one confused. "She's still waiting. No pickup, no guardian. You need to come immediately." I let out a soft, disbelieving laugh. "I'm single," I said. I don't have any kids." The silence on her end wasn't disbelief. It was irritation. "Ma'am, we've verified her information. If you refuse to come, we'll have to contact authorities for neglect." The word neglect sliced through my chest. My heart slammed against my ribs. My chair scraped backward. The fluorescent office lights buzzed too loudly, the room suddenly too warm. "Wait, please, don't call anyone," I managed. "I'm coming." I didn't even grab my bag. I just ran. "My name is Maya Rivers. I'm 29 years old. And on the day a school insisted I had a daughter I'd never met, my entire life cracked open at the edges. If this resonates with you, share your thoughts. It means more than you know." The drive to Brookside Elementary felt unreal, like I was moving through fog, like every stoplight stretched time further. The city outside blurred into smears of color, red brake lights, pale storefronts, the dull gray of an overcast sky. My hands shook the entire way. I kept hearing the woman's voice repeating, "Your daughter has been left here for 2 hours." I pressed my nails into my palms just to feel something familiar. The closer I got, the louder memories from my childhood seeped in, ones I didn't ask for. My cousin Lily and me sitting on the creaky steps of our grandmother's house, sharing melted popsicles. Her telling me, "You'll make a great mom someday, Maya." Me laughing, shaking my head. "No way. Kids. I can barely take care of myself." Funny how some sentences return years later like ghosts demanding attention. A shiver crawled up my spine. When I pulled into the school parking lot, a teacher stood outside clutching a clipboard. She spotted me immediately and walked briskly toward my car. "Finally," she muttered under her breath. I stepped out, breath unsteady. "There's been a mistake," I said. "I think you have the wrong." Her face didn't soften. "Follow me." The hallway was painted in cheerful primary colors, bright reds, warm yellows, soft blues. Children's drawings lined the walls, all stick-figure families and lopsided houses. A faint scent of crayons and hand sanitizer lingered in the air. We turned into a small waiting room. And there, sitting quietly on a wooden bench, legs dangling, clutching a purple backpack to her chest, was a little girl. Dark curls, wide hazel eyes, a tiny freckle above her right eyebrow. Something in me stilled. She lifted her head. Her eyes met mine, and she smiled. Not a stranger's smile. Something softer. Almost familiar. My throat tightened. The teacher folded her arms. "See? She recognizes you." "I've never seen her before," I whispered. But even as I said it, a strange warmth spread across my chest, confusion tangled with something I didn't have a name for. The girl stood, backpack straps slipping off her shoulders. "Hi," she said softly. I waited. Her voice was steady, trusting, as if she knew me, as if she belonged to me. I swallowed hard. "Sweetheart, what's your name?" She hesitated just a second. Then, "Emma." Emma. The name hit me like a quiet bell ringing through the room. The teacher sighed. "She gave us your full name, your number, your apartment building. She said you're her mother." "I'm not," I whispered. "I can't be." But the girl kept staring at me, hope flickering in her eyes like a candle shielded by small hands. Then she said something that made my entire body go rigid. "You promised you'd come." The teacher looked at me sharply. "You want to explain that?" My breath faltered. "I don't know what she's talking about." Emma's face fell, not dramatically, just a small, heartbreaking shift. "I waited," she repeated. The room tilted. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. I crouched down slowly, keeping my voice gentle. "Emma, who told you I was your mom?" She looked down at her shoes. "My other family did." I swallowed. "Which family?" Silence. Then in the faintest whisper, The ones from before. Cold swept through me like a winter gust through an open door. Before what? Before who? Before me? The teacher checked the clock. I need to finish paperwork. You two talk. She stepped out, closing the door behind her. Emma toyed with the zipper of her backpack. Her shoes swung lightly above the floor. She looked suddenly much smaller. I sat beside her, carefully as though a sudden movement might shatter the moment. Emma, I said softly, do you know my name? She nodded. Why, a chill slid down my spine. Who told you my name? She hesitated again. Her voice trembled when she finally answered. My mommy's cousin. My stomach dropped. Cousin. There was only one person she could mean. Lily. A sudden memory surfaced. Lily holding a baby at a family barbecue years ago. She never told anyone whose child it was. She avoided questions, changed the subject, deflected with jokes. She disappeared for months after that. Then resurfaced acting like nothing happened. A strange buzzing filled my ears. I looked at Emma again, really looked. Her freckles. Her curls. Her hazel eyes. And beneath all of that, something eerily familiar. Something that made my heartbeat stutter. I whispered, barely breathing. Emma, what else did Lily tell you? Emma held her backpack tighter. That you're the one who's supposed to take care of me now. My entire world shifted. Not just confusion. Not just shock. Something bigger. A truth waiting in the doorway. A truth bracing itself. Because if Lily told this child my name, my number, my address, this wasn't a mistake. This was deliberate. And the reason behind it was about to unravel everything I thought I knew about my family. For a moment the room felt too still. The hallway chatter faded. The hum of a vending machine outside warped into a distant drone. Even my own breath sounded foreign in my ears. Shallow, uneven, unsure. Emma sat beside me with her knees pulled up, her little fingers gripping the edges of her purple backpack. She didn't look scared. She looked relieved. As if she had been waiting for me to understand something she already accepted as truth. But I didn't understand. Not yet. My mommy's cousin said you'd come get me, she whispered, curling a stray curl behind her ear. My throat tightened. Lily. It had to be Lily. The cousin who drifted in and out of my life like a shifting wind. Unpredictable, warm one day, cold the next. The cousin who kept secrets the way others kept jewelry. Tucked away in velvet boxes, brought out only when necessary. A memory emerged, faint and unsteady. Lily at 19, crying on the bathroom floor during a family gathering, whispering into the mirror, "Nothing is ever mine." I had sat beside her, offering tissues without knowing what pain she meant. She never told me. Maybe she had in her own way. Maybe none of us listened. I looked back at Emma. "Sweetheart," I said softly, "where is your mom now?" He swallowed. Her eyelashes trembled. She left. A cold weight dropped into my stomach. When? I whispered. Emma looked at her shoes. A few days ago. She said she had to go somewhere. She told me to wait at school and you would come. My breath caught. This wasn't confusion. This wasn't a mix-up. This was abandonment disguised as a plan. And Lily had chosen me as the soft landing. Before I could process any of it, the door opened again. The teacher motioned me outside. "She's exhausted," she said quietly. "And she won't tell us much. She just keeps insisting you're her guardian." "I'm not," I whispered, voice cracking. I didn't even know she existed. The teacher studied me for a long moment, her sternness softening into something almost compassionate. "Sometimes," she said gently, "children know who they trust long before adults understand why." Her words hit deeper than she realized. But trust? How could Emma trust me when I didn't even know her? Unless someone taught her to. Unless Lily had spent years telling Emma my name. My kindness. My stories. The cousin she admired more than she ever said out loud. I stepped back into the room and the child looked up the moment I entered, hope flickering softly across her face like a match cupped in small hands. I sat beside her again. "Emma, why did your mommy say I'd take care of you?" She blinked and tears welled in her eyes. Not loud tears, not tantrum tears. The quiet kind children shed when they've learned disappointment too early. "Because she said you're the only good person left." The sentence knocked the air out of me. "She said you're not like the others," Emma continued, voice quivering. "She said you don't break promises. And you came So I'm not alone. A single tear slipped down her cheek. And just like that, something inside me cracked. Gently, painfully, like old armor finally splitting open after carrying more than it was designed for. I pressed my hand to my chest, steadying myself. In that moment, I didn't feel like a stranger meeting a lost child. I felt like someone arriving late to a responsibility she never knew she had. An administrator entered and spoke softly. We need to notify Child Protective Services if no legal guardian steps forward tonight. The words sliced through me. I looked at Emma, small, tired, her backpack still clenched like a lifeline. Then I looked at the administrator. What happens to her tonight? We take her to emergency foster care. A cold dread rolled through me. Foster care. A child who believed I was her last safe person. A child Lily entrusted to me, whether fairly or unfairly, because she believed I would not walk away. I need to make a call, I whispered. I stepped into the hallway and dialed Lily 3 times. Straight to voicemail. Her voice on the recording sounded too bright, too careless, too rehearsed. Hey, leave a message, I'll call back soon. But she wouldn't. Not tonight. Not after this. I slid down the wall until I was sitting on the floor, the cold tile brushing against the back of my legs. Why me? Why no? Why disappear? Then another memory surfaced, one I'd ignored for years. We were teens. Lily sat on the hood of her car, knees tucked up, staring at the night sky. I could disappear and no one would notice, she said. I told her quietly, I would. She didn't believe me then. Maybe she did now. Maybe too much. I went back into the room. Emma looked up instantly. Waya, she whispered, using my name for the first time. The sound of it in her small voice did something strange to me. Pulled at something deep, something protective, something ancient and instinctive. I knelt in front of her and took a slow breath. Emma, I said, I'll stay with you tonight. I won't leave you. Her shoulders relaxed. Her eyes softened. She leaned forward and wrapped her arms around my neck with the kind of trust that breaks and heals a heart at the same time. I closed my eyes. A decision was forming inside me, quiet but irreversible. Not because I believed I was her mother. Not because I believed Lily had the right to hand her to me. But because I could not send her into a system where she would wait for someone who might never come. I whispered into her hair, You're safe. I promise. And the strange part? The promise felt natural. Like it had been sitting inside me for years, waiting for a moment to matter. We spent the next hour filling out temporary paperwork. The school allowed me to take her home under emergency care guidelines until CPS could contact me in the morning. As we walked outside, Emma slipped her hand into mine, unafraid, certain. The wind carried the scent of evening rain. Streetlights flickered on one by one, painting the sidewalk in soft amber. I opened the passenger door of my car for her. She climbed in quietly, hugging her backpack. When I started the engine, she looked at me with those wide hazel eyes, Lily's eyes, and whispered, Thank you for coming. My throat tightened again. I drove in silence, the night unfolding gently around us, my thoughts unraveling in slow, careful lines. Who was I to her? Who had I become? What had Lily done? What truth had she run from? And why did I feel, in some strange corner of my chest, that this child had walked into my life for a reason I wouldn't understand until later? If you've lived anything like this, tell your story, and don't forget to subscribe. When I pulled into my apartment parking lot, Emma fell asleep in the back seat, small, exhausted, trusting. I carried her inside gently. And as I laid her on the couch, covering her with a blanket, one truth settled over the room like a quiet breath. Love arrives strangely. And sometimes so does family.